Morning. So lockdown is eased ever so slightly, so I'm able to come back up to see platypus, thank goodness. Only problem is my marina is closed at the weekend, so only open during the week between 9 and 5, so I take a day off, but totally worth it to come back and see the boat sales are getting on. Obviously I started doing the hearth in the last video, so I'll come back today to finish that off, do a few other bits and bobs, just check the boat over and generally just spend a bit of time up at the boat. So really pleased to be back. Just arrived, here she is. Haven't taken any water on, she's looking perfect. I'm just about to start doing the rest of the tiling, but first cooking my breakfast. So I'll set the camera up and I'll show you me cutting the tiles, which I've never done before. Right, all I need to do now is measure where I need to cut them, so it's quite simple. I'm just going to hold them roughly in place. I've got these spacers in, so I can see where I need to cut it, roughly where I need. I'm just going to make a little mark with my pen, and also down the bottom as well because it's at a slight angle. I'm going to then follow this line round to the back here, just so I can definitely see it both sides, and also on the top here for when I put it on the cutter. If I do it wrong, I can do more than one cut on it, so it's not the end of the world. Cut that, hopefully it'll fit in place. I'll do the next two. Once I've got all the two in the sizes that I need, then I'll start sticking them down. Right, so I've adjusted this already to line up with my marks, which I've got there and there, lined up with the blade. There is water inside here to keep this diamond circular saw nice and cool. It splatters water absolutely everywhere, so I'm going to be wearing my big goggle. But put this on here and you can see it in action. Nice straight edge, all going well, that'll do the job. So all the tiles are now stuck in place. I've also replaced the fire rope around my fire as well, so that's all been stuck in place. While I can't do all the other bits I want to do, I may as well do this, and like I said, I've fitted all those tiles all stuck in place. Leave them to dry, and then before I go home I will do grouting. I've never done grouting before, so that's going to be interesting. Not been up here for 10 weeks, so I don't know if the engine's going to start. Hopefully it will. If it doesn't, hopefully it will just be a flat battery and I've got a spare battery with me to jump start it with. But before I start the engine, I need to do some checks, so let me just plonk you down somewhere and you can watch me do my checks. Right, so a number of checks I need to do before I start the engine. First of all is check the oil level. It shouldn't have gone down as I've not been using it, but I still need to check it in case there's a leak, or in case, in fact, with these Lister engines you can get leakage down past the injectors and you can get extra fuel in the oil. Now if that happens, the oil level will go up, not down. But thankfully that's spot on, so oil level all good. Need to check the belt, which is down here, which you can't see, make sure it's on there. It is a little bit slack actually, I probably need to sort it out at some point. I won't do that now because I'm only starting up to make sure it runs. Also gearbox. Now on these gearboxes, it's a manual as you all know, it does have two dipsticks. One for the main part, one for the transfer case part. Okay, so that needs a bit of a top up, which I'll do in a second. That's the transfer side. This is the main part of the gearbox. Absolutely fine. Now one more thing I will do before I start the engine is my bilge pumps down there has a float. So the idea is when the water gets in, gets to a certain level, the float raises up and that triggers a switch to pump the water out. Now it's quite a bit of water in there, but not any more than I normally have after I've left the boat for a little period of time. But I need to make sure that the battery's got plenty of charge. Now at the moment it's not linked up to my main battery, so it's got a separate battery which I've got stowed away, a bit difficult to get to. So I'm going to see if it triggers when I lift it up. So I'll just use one of my mooring pins. Let's lift it up and see if it goes. Yep, you hear that? Pumping, pumping, pumping. So I'll leave that there for the minute, get the rest of the water out. The battery for this pump seems to last for months and months and months. It only kicks in as and when the water gets to a certain level, so it doesn't use much power because it's not on much, but also because when it is on, it's very low power consumption. Lovely. There's a bit of oil down there, so I suspect the reason the gearbox oil level is low is that I may have a small leak somewhere, so that's something to deal with, but not today. Right, so I've checked all the levels, checked the belt, topped up the gearbox oil. Now it's time to start it up. Now I genuinely have not started this for 10, maybe 11, actually probably longer than that, because I don't think I started when I come up to do the hearth. So it could probably be 3 or 4 months since I've started this. So I'll be very interested to see how it goes. Let's give it a try. Wow. Unexpected. Very happy. Now, just need to see if it's charging the batteries. These SR2 engines rev very, very low, so I normally have to have a very small amount of revs to get the charging going. So let's put a few revs up. Okay, so I've done all that, checked the engine, all starts up fine. I've given the old stern gland a couple of turns to stop that from leaking. And next job is this here. This is my deck. Now this is the original deck that I put down. When I first had the boat, I was on my own, had to move some wood along the way, so I couldn't lift and move the 18mm that I wanted. So I had to use a couple of 9mm bits that I just bolted together. Knew I'd have to replace at some point. I've replaced the other 2 bits, but last summer my mum put her foot through it, hurt herself actually, so got to change this. Now I can change this by taking all this seating area away. Now this needs to be redone anyway, but I've decided to get it something welded on the back. So I'm gonna replace this bit of deck, which the welded seating area should go on the back on top of. Now I'm not entirely sure when that's going to happen because of all the pandemic, everything's been put back, but the idea today is to get this bit of wood out, measure up my new piece, and then I'll probably take it home to get it painted to bring it back up next time. I will probably replace the top bit because I don't know when the welding is going to be done, but I'm not going to replace the whole thing because it just seems a bit pointless when I'm going to get it replaced. It's a waste of wood. I've got that bit of wood out. Obviously I have dismantled this quite a bit, but like I said, that's going to be replaced. So time to draw around it and then cut a new piece. So new bit of deck's down. Now there is a airway which I have to move around, and also the tanks there as well. So this is an ideal place for a cupboard, which is why I want the cupboard here. I'm thinking about getting just a very, very small gas bottle to sit in there instead of having to use it at the front. I just think it will be more useful, but we'll see from what I can do. Right, so I've done all the grouting as well now. I was going to film it, then I got completely dirty getting started it and realised I hadn't put the camera on, so I wasn't going to clean myself up to get that sorted, so I just carried on. But it's turned out alright. I don't like grouting, I've decided. It's not something I enjoy in the slightest, but actually, it looks pretty good. Quite happy with that. So that's me done. They shut at 5, but it's 7 o'clock now and they haven't chucked me out, so fireplace is all complete. I've even got a little surround put on there as well for the ashes. That's just bonded in place. Painted all these walls. wood to go there and there. Just got to take it home and paint it. I'll fit it. I'll put some insulation. Haven't done that insulation. I'll fit this insulation as well. I've got some for the rest of the boat, which I'll get done at some point. And I've painted all around here as well. And obviously I've done the deck like I showed you earlier on. I'm exhausted. Never mind. See you next time. Thank you. Take care. If you like what you see, please subscribe and put a thumbs up and leave any comments. Thank you very much.